Cool. All right. Testing. Cool, cool, cool. Um, hey guys, I'm Sergio. Yeah, my project is on projects, productivity, and mental health. Sorry, I changed the slide over, the work. I don't know why. This sounds a little bit smoother based off my slides. But yeah, over the past year, college students have struggled to, find motivation and reasons to stay somewhat positive, especially, due to the whole COVID-19 pandemic. Um, with everybody having their classes and work and internships, all that kind of routine tasks, just cooking and cleaning, that kind of stuff. So it's kind of made me want to think about what it is that has gotten me to do, stay like positive, I guess, and like optimistic during the COVID-19. And pretty much it's been projects. And just by the way, like before I start this, all this is like, just my personal experience. So I'm not like trying to force anybody into this like life. This is just me and like how I've like kind of coped in my own way. So yeah, my first point, projects. The point of, me explaining project isn't necessarily to, make you go start a project right here and now. It's more to just, give you guys some insight on, maybe encouraging you guys to start a project or, just a way for you guys to take your mind off of some routine stress and maybe even motivate you to, channel your energy into something somewhat productive. If you have trouble thinking of something off the top of your head, you don't really have to right away. There's no rush in my whole slide thing. I recommend listing things maybe that, you find interesting or happy, or you might just be curious about. Starting that thing, that artsy project that you guys see on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok, so I've just seen what people send me, but there's always that, or like some people are starting YouTube channels and that kind of stuff. So really whatever floats your boat. I think one of the biggest things that I've seen people kind of overthink about is that they don't have, the time or the knowledge or the resources to do that certain thing. And this is just my opinion, but over, COVID, the whole peak, I had to move home because of, things were getting a little rough down there in Southern California. I went to UCSB. So I had to move back home, and I was like really bummed out about that because I spent all this time into like trying to transfer to a good school just to end up back not even a full 2 quarters after I started. So I took on this essentially restoration project. Matt knows a lot about this. I've been like talking to him since, the start of the internship, but essentially I bought this car in June of 2020. And yeah, it didn't run. I mean, half of the engine was like in the trunk, and I pretty much bought it with like no idea of how I was going to get it, completely fixed up. But I was just trying to be optimistic. Essentially, just bought it as like a skeleton, just like the body itself. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I do have some pretty decent equipment, and my father, who is somewhat knowledgeable about that. But what majority of what I learned doing this project, the majority of it was like just on YouTube and online, and just like asking like people like out on forums and that kind of stuff who currently work on these kind of projects. So I kind of like tried to put myself out there, and this was my dream car since I was like a kid. So maybe that's kind of like the thing that motivated me the most. But yeah, don't get me wrong, I did have to like blow a lot of my time and money essentially to get it to where it is now. A lot of my time, a lot of time out of work and long hours. But one of the biggest things that I feel like I've learned from this project is that you kind of have to take these really big leaps instead of, I was kind of choking up on it like for years. I mean, I wanted the car since I was younger, and every time an opportunity would come, I'd be like, nah, I don't think it's the time, and just so happens that it's during the time where the world is at like, a halt and unemployment rates are like crazy. And, the whole delivery system was like really, really delayed. But, I think you just have to take these like leaps. This is just my, personal experience. Just because I've seen a lot of people, they prolong these, projects that they wish to be doing. And, essentially you're not going to get it really done if you don't at least like try to do some research around it. I also do understand that a lot of people aren't, maybe financially stable. And I don't essentially mean for you guys to go jump on the first expensive project that you see. But I mean, look around to see what there is, what it is you do want to see, what's doable, what's in your budget, and what's in, like your time range. And then, obviously just make a rational decision around that. Also, for example, I think I mentioned it. Yeah, I had to like sacrifice a lot of my own independence as well to do this project. Like currently, I don't know if you can see my mattress is like right there in the back, like live here in the office. So it's been a little rough, but you know, I'm a year later, the car is almost finished now. I'm like really happy that I didn't choke up on this project. Right now, I'm currently in the process of trying to find windows. So that's, you know, kind of a pain, but it's helped me kind of cope with the loss of I'm not having an in-person graduation, which is like really unfortunate because kind of did a lot of school and it's like, oh yeah, well, your graduation isn't in person. So it's a little disappointing, but I guess it's a good transition to adult life, the workforce, you know, and I guess this is a good compromise for the meantime. But yeah, there's no rush when it comes to finishing your project. I recommend just taking, you know, some small steps to figure out what it is you want to spend your time on and how exactly you're going to achieve your goals. I always tell this to my brothers that I recommend people just do what really inspires you. You know, when I contemplate a new project, I think, you know, do I want to be somebody who like contemplates and always wants to do the project, or actually do I want to go ahead and like do it? And sometimes it honestly doesn't even need to be a materialistic item. It could be something like focusing on your health, starting a diet or workout regimen, or cooking, baking. That's also like for yourself. You are a project in your own way. You can also tend to plants. My brother, literally his entire room is plants. It's like plant here, plant there. Like 90% of our house is like plants now. So yeah, project is just, it doesn't need to be materialistic. Which, you know, makes me think a lot of you guys are probably thinking, I mean, why the hell are you talking about projects? I don't have any time. And why are you bringing this whole project thing up to me? And it's, you know, I understand that. And, you know, how do you want me to expect you guys to, you know, go start this huge workout routine or YouTube channel when I get it? You guys are busy, work, school, internships, volunteering, and obviously whatever time you want from all of that, it's to focus on yourself. You know, maybe that's binging the new series, some anime, you know, getting lost on TikTok like some of you, reading or napping or just unwinding from being online for like 8 hours a day. Completely understand that. Which brings me to my next point, productivity. Also, you know, a very subjective term. Everybody has their own definition of it. Mine's a little different. And especially what I wanted to touch up on this is that productivity is what you make of it. I'm currently going to kind of give you guys some of the tips and tricks that I've been using since the start of my college days. And I hope, you know, you guys and maybe even the people who hopefully see this one day are, you know, extract something from there. I went from like a 2.2 in high school, almost dropped out, to, you know, graduate of UC Santa Barbara. So really, I think it's all about the work ethic. With, you know, the right mindset, I think you can really accomplish anything. Personally, I have 3 different types of planners. And one of them is this huge calendar. Yeah, it's like hung up over there that I have it. It's a huge calendar that I pretty much put all of my important due dates on it, and it has the most important things that are due that month. So whenever I'm, you know, doing work right here and I see that, I'm like, oh yeah, I have an assignment due. Literally tonight, I have a paper due that I haven't done yet. So yeah, I also have a smaller planner that I pretty much write things for the week. So I fill that out on Sunday nights. I go and I start looking at what I have due that week, my meetings, and that helps me kind of lay out my week. Honestly, anything that's important. And then I also have a smaller notepad. Really, the dimensions on this are kind of weird, but I also have a smaller notepad that I didn't really use it at first because it's like, why if I already have the medium notepad? But I use it pretty much to jot down my daily tasks, things that change, meetings that come up. And honestly, it's kind of helped me jot down ideas, you know, say like X, Y, and Z for this internship, or like, ooh, I should bring this up at like the Come On Out meeting about this new like blog idea that I have, which is, you know, because I don't know, I feel like when if you have that $1 million idea, you know, that notepad is really going to come in handy. But yeah, they've been a huge help in terms of organizing my time. I'm way more aware of how my time is, you know, being spent now and my commitments. And it's good structure. You know, it is really good structure. If I had to tell you, like, you only could get one for some odd reason, probably the weekly planner is probably the most effective for me. I think I can live without this huge, you know, calendar since it's like here in the corner, but the medium one helps you like really plan things out and organize your week. Yeah, so like I just said, the planners, you know, for jotting down all your assignments, your say, oh, I want to put in 10 hours of work this week, and then you can kind of, adjust it however you like. This is just me. I like to have some structure to my weeks. Also, this is just me personally. I know everybody's body is differently, but I started adjusting my sleep schedule a little bit more just because I was sleeping in like all the time. I was sleeping like 9 to 10 hours. I know some people don't even get that. I feel spoiled. But I was, sleeping like 9 to 10 hours, and I kind of cut it down to like 7-ish, 8 sometimes on a weekend, just so that I could wake up a bit earlier, like 7:30, 8 in the morning, drink my coffee. I'll just drink my coffee and I'll do smaller tasks, things that don't take, a bunch of cognitive energy, just so that I kind of like waking up my mind, and I'll go through my emails, and, maybe I'll watch a lecture depending on what kind of class it is. And then also, this is something I didn't really like at first, but then it has kind of been coming in to help me out. I've been limiting my screen time, mostly just like on a personal level. So I'll like put I think I have it at like an hour and a half currently. It's helped me just because like when I'm, in between the meetings and in between other stuff, I just check my phone. Even like when I'm in the meeting, sometimes I check my phone. It's just like so habitual to do it. And I would just be doing it on Instagram, like scrolling for no reason. And it's like, I don't really need to be doing that. I should like have my mind, on the meeting itself, or say like on a class, even if it is online and I can go back. It's just become really habitual. But having the screen time limit has kind of like helped me in cases like that. And then I kind of like catch myself in the act, like, wait a minute, like I shouldn't be doing this. And yeah, I want to get to my final point, mental health. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because, students and pretty much everybody's mental health has declined in the past year due to, the whole pandemic, being indoors all day. A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people have been put in like financial jeopardy. It's been like really stressful. And any kind of like human interaction, even like grocery shopping and that kind of stuff, has been cut down. We're not even able to do that kind of stuff, see our friends. And yeah, it's just now that things are kind of opening up again, it's like even giving a lot of people like social anxiety. I know I didn't go out for like, I think 2 months at the start of the pandemic. And when I finally went out to like order coffee, I like forgot how to interact with people. You can't even like read people's facial expressions now because of the mask. It's just really challenging. And I didn't believe it because I'm like, I adjusted really well to it. But like my brothers who are younger, they're kind of like really anxious to go out, and they have good reason. One of them can't even get the vaccine. So it's a little challenging. But yeah, the year has been challenging for everybody. And even though my presentation has been to get you guys to do more work, be productive, and start a project, I do want to emphasize that mental health, in my opinion, is the most important. Because if you don't have that, the other two kind of don't really, it's not that they don't make sense, but it's not really right for yourself. I wouldn't be a good presenter if that was the case. So I'm going to give you guys a few tips. Not I mean go out, when I mean daily activity and self-care, I don't mean, go out, start deadlifting like 220 and working out like The Rock, unless you want to. I don't know if you guys are actually fit like that. But, maybe, try and go out for like a nice walk, maybe even a light jog if you are a little bit more, I don't know, maybe like in shape, or like you guys are more used to it. I know I went out for like a jog and I started getting really bad cramps. So maybe that's just me and my breathing. But yeah, also getting some sun is great, vitamin D, especially if you've been locked indoors for like half of your day already. Also, even I know a lot of people are in like really populated areas. So, like the city and that kind of stuff. And it's like, you don't even want to go outside. So home exercises, lower those endorphins. And lower this, it's boost your endorphins. Sorry about that. It's boost your endorphins, reduce your stress levels. There we go. I got it. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. That's pretty much what I've been doing for like the entire COVID. Since I live in a more rural area, it's a little bit difficult to do that. But also drinking more water, flush out those toxins. Oh yeah, my bad. I have that other picture there. Another self-care thing you can also do is, the face masks. My whole point of this slide, this random slide, is kind of emphasizing spiritual self-care. Meditation, for example, is a great thing to try. Another intern, for Come On Japan, Patricia, she has some really good mindfulness Mondays that help people really get zen, like really in the zone, and really great way to start out your week. Really like nice way to be relaxed. I didn't really believe this at first, but then I started like seeing a lot more people do it. Daily affirmations, having these little Post-it notes like these, just like scattered around your house, like on your way out, in your mirror, on the fridge, and just even saying them aloud, like I'm enough, I love myself. I think those go a long way, especially after this really challenging year, just being indoors all the time, especially if like you don't live with any like other people. And that brings me to my last point, social self-care. And my point about that is socializing is a plus. As humans, we thrive on social interaction, unless you're a hermit crab, which I totally understand. I'm a Cancer. So yeah, but you do need to talk to people regardless in this world. I mean, you can't survive without it. You can't shut everybody out forever. And I know it's been like kind of rough because of the pandemic and all. You don't want to be in these huge crowds, but I think, now that things are starting to open up again, it is essential to build and maintain your current relationships, if that's pretty much with anybody, your roommates, your housemates, I mean, your family, your significant other. I mean, and I also think like having a good communication, like coping skills, like how do you communicate with these people, when you're mad or when you're sad, you don't just shut them out or you don't just go right for the throat. I think having these, communication skills do go a long way. So maybe doing a little bit more communication or even like research on that, like how it is you can kind of talk about these things. I know it's different for everybody, so I don't want to like generalize, but yeah, also I know it's been a little bit challenging for a lot of people, but also making new friends if you don't have a lot of friends. Currently understand that it is really challenging because it is all on like remote, but it's totally doable. I didn't really believe it at first. It just takes a certain amount of effort. I honestly really like that idea of that app that somebody mentioned, Tandem. Yeah, I for sure downloaded that. That's gonna really come clutch later. But yeah, joining a club in school, I mean, even going to the social events, come on out, hosted some awesome social events. I currently am a social chair for an organization. It's really great to see freshmen who have no concept of what a college life is come out and want to socialize with people who've been here for, I mean, I was only there for like another year, but the upperclassmen, just playing games, socializing, that is really good for the soul. It's really good for people to get back into the zone of socializing. And yeah, also, yeah, sorry about that. I brought up freaking Come On Out Japan already. So yeah, Come On Out Japan and socials, awesome. Shout out to Zane for throwing those. Those have definitely helped me, especially when I haven't been outside for like a week playing some Jackbox for sure. And yeah, if you've been doing that, I mean, maybe you have a small group for, by chance that you occasionally see outside, maybe like you hang out with your family a lot or, housemates or your significant other, but you still kind of feel this empty-ish feeling. I personally recommend journaling, writing down, like how you feel, what it is, you wish you could do better, what do you want to improve, where do you want to travel, like when all this is over, some of your like short-term and long-term goals. I think writing has like really helped people, and especially like me, to flush out my deep inner thoughts. But yeah, maybe even poetry, write a haiku, who knows. It is a really good way to clear your mind and de-stress. You can go like after all of this, hopefully we even get over this, you can look back on this and be like, oh, this is like how I felt, and it's a really good way to like understand yourself. But yeah, pretty much your mistakes, maybe what you need to improve on. But it also, all of the concept that I brought up, the productivity and the projects, they all kind of wind down to this thing called a flow theory, where it's more or less being immersed in this kind of activity that you're more like in the zone kind of feeling. You lose track of time, and I think a lot of people are kind of missing that. A lot of people have forgotten like a lot of the aspects of their life since like the pandemic hit. But listening to music or reading, just getting more in touch with yourself is really, really important. So yeah, I'm sure there are more things that you could do, for self-care that I know I didn't list, but I'm sure you guys have your own routines. I hope some people have your own routines. If not, I mean, try some that I talked about. I'm gonna go try a face mask later tonight now, but I hope everybody who watches this and is watching has hopefully been able to extract something from this. But yeah, I hope everybody continues to stay healthy and safe during these tough times. Thank you.
Great presentation. I really feel inspired to go start a project or do a face mask or something. So thank you for that. And I thought it was interesting you brought up the flow theory, because didn't someone bring that up in, what was it again?
Yeah, in the last on day 2.
Yeah.
Did somebody really?
Was it Was it
It was
Krishy?
probably Krishy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
That's
thought.
awesome.
Yeah. So it's
I hear it a lot of I hear it a lot in my department, so that's why I was like, I'm gonna bring it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wait, what's your department? Because I would hear a lot about flow theory too.
I hear it a lot in communication.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
I'm a copy.
gotcha. Yeah, games, we're always like, oh, we want the player to enter
Yeah,
flow
exactly.
state.
That's right.
So, yeah, cool. That's really cool on the car as well. Like when you showed the picture with the paint job and everything, I was just super impressed by that.
Thank you. I didn't do the paint, so
Oh, okay.
I'm not a jack of all trades, but yeah, I just got it back like this past weekend, so it's been a bumpy ride, but I hope to finish it one day, hopefully
Well,
like soon.
you should send updates to the Discord server because we're probably all invested in that car's progress now.
Yeah. I know, that's what I was gonna say. When I saw those pictures, I was like, Sergio, you never sent me those new